I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you be watching this transmission. Tis I, Mike Martins. Thanks for joining me, being part of the channel. Very heavily centered here. I'm doing a live stream here on YouTube. And just wanted to send out a big hello to everybody and maybe get some discussion going on what we're allowed to talk about. This is a YouTube live stream, so if you're watching this somewhere else, we are very, very censored on what we are allowed to say on here. So we got to be super careful. Tis I, Mike Martins, the voice of the Commonwealth. So let's see if there's anyone finding us. And I don't got nobody watching, but that's okay. All right, I'm just going to go on my own here. All right, so here it is, guys. Don't forget to check us out if you get some time. I'm on Odyssey. I'm here. Don't forget to check us out if you like. Every Saturday night, we have a show called Mike in the Night. And on Mike in the Night, unfortunately, we can't really say what we say on there, what we can't say on YouTube, because it's very dangerous. Here's a clip from Saturday's show. I wanted to show you guys this. It's pretty cool. Run on diesel and heating oil halts deliveries. So they're halting deliveries to basically create this massive issue in Germany. Were they going to spark a war or something? What, does Germany think it could take on Russia? I don't think so. They tried many times and they lost miserably. Yeah. Oh, Ontario's hot, so that's global warming, right? If you're in Seattle, Oregon, and Washington State, that's climate rambunctious. I call it climate rambunctious because they're having an abnormally cool summer this year and a longer rainy season, so they can't call it global warming. I mean, they could call it climate change. But then, I like calling it climate rambunctious. I don't know about you guys. Okay, so let's keep going here. And in Australia, that's climate change because it's cold down there for the winter, the coolest winter. So it gets broken down like that, right? And I just poop my pants climate. You know. All right, let's keep moving on here. So I wanted to bring that up. It's this. The reason why I'm bringing this up because it has a lot to do with this tax crap thing that they're passing, or this bill that they're passing in the United States of America. So, guys, bear with me here. I'm just going to kind of fix my screen here. I haven't been live on YouTube at my house in a while. And I'm just going to... Oh, we got Steve in the house. We got Matrix. We got saying that Trump's been raided. Mad Max in the house here. Spark Drive in the house. All right, guys. All right, let's find out what's going on. So I've been looking around with this climate spending bill, or whatever they're calling it, or inflation reduction bill, or whatever the publicists think they should call it. So I found one here from The Guardian. It kind of breaks it down a little bit better, more easier to kind of read, so to say, and kind of put it into a better perspective. So The Guardian is writing it. Then we're going to look into other avenues on what they're telling us, because this is basically, the liberal leftist type of read this and feel comfortable about it and understand it, and doesn't really reveal what is happening or how it's happening. It's kind of, the American inflation creation bomb. Thank you, Mad Max. That's it right there. He just told you what it is right there. He just summed that up in one sentence. So the Inflation Reduction Act is a far cry from Biden's original ambition, but it nothing less represents the victory for a president. So there it is. They're trying to wrap this as a victory, a win for the Democrats. It's a win for the Americans. It's a win. And Joe Biden's $740 billion package tackling climate. Oh my God. Why are they doing this for? Can't they get a better angle than climate? When all fails, and we talked about this on Mike in the Night, when all fails, go back to climate. Hot war, pull the trigger on the you-know-what. We discussed it in 2019 era on the channel, that we're going to pull the trigger on the you-know-what, and we said it like it is. We didn't paraphrase it. We told you that we're going to do it, and the hot war and everything. We told you how this was going to go around. And it all goes back front and center to climate change. It all goes back to climate. and it's something that no one could predict. The one thing that no one could predict, you could have a fancy picnic and everything, but you can't predict the weather. The one thing that's unpredictable, the one thing that's unseen, the one thing that's unimaginably impossible to predict is the lottery and the weather. So they're using the weather as a ploy against us. You must eat bugs. My garden is nor or as good as last year. Weather bugs. What else? People in the comments section here. Okay, so what's going on? So, $740 billion package to tackling climate change. God, Americans are paying for this proxy war in Europe, and now Americans are paying for this packages that if you asked a majority of Americans if they want to fund this, I bet 96% of people wouldn't want this. I honestly wholeheartedly believe that 96% of people wouldn't want this. The deficit in healthcare that has passed the Senate and is almost certain now to become law is a far cry from its original, even bigger ambitions, but still represents a major triumph for the president. Again, I don't know how this is a triumph, indebting the American public, indebting the middle-class citizens, indebting and just this disproportionate amount of inflation that's still catching up. I think there's an aggregation of inflation. Hopefully a big channel could pick this up and run with it. The aggregation of inflation, I think it's 6 months to a year behind until it catches up to full force. Right? So send me the link when a channel says the aggregation to inflation, and they tell you the timeline. Send me that link, guys. Whatever channel picks that up, I want to kind of re-show it. Yeah, so much aerial spraying in New Zealand this winter. So much rain, land spills all over the place. But you see, in down under, like New Zealand and Australia, they're calling it climate change because they can't call it global warming because it's actually they're having an abnormally cooler winter than usual, right? So, sorry guys, I don't know, my camera's acting weird. So they're having an abnormally cooler winter than usual, so they need to basically call it climate change. And then in Europe, it's called I poop my plants climate. The Inflation Reduction Act, was virtually dead in the water before the last minute turnaround by the conservative West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin saw it suddenly revived. It then endured another round of political horse trading. So again, it went back and forth. Overview: the estimated $740 billion package is full of Democrat priorities. Those include capping prescription drug costs at $2,000, out of the pocket for seniors, helping Americans pay for private health insurance, and what Democrats are calling the most substantial investment in the history to fight climate crisis, $375 billion over a decade. This is financial suicide. This is financial suicide, folks. Wow. This is a total financial suicide. I don't even know. Wow, $375 billion. Almost half the money raised, $300 billion, will go toward paying down federal deficits. It's paid for largely with new corporate taxes, including 15% minimum tax on big corporations to ensure they don't skip paying any taxes at all. Oh, God. As well as projected federal savings from lower Medicare drug costs. So now, remember when I told you guys, I said to you guys, when people were telling me, Mike, they're not going to be, the corporations will still be corporate, they'll still be king, they'll still hold the power. Guys, I kept telling you, they're going to tax them to death. They're going to gut them out, they're going to hollow out the corporations, and the governments are going to come in with their white signs and saying government owned, and with announcements in the buildings, trust your government loves you. You know what I'm saying? So So we got Johnny Boy Silver in the house. Yeah, Europe's going to be a wasteland this winter. That's 100% on the money there because Eastern Europe is going to be a wasteland because Eastern Europe now is still fighting with Russia and sanctioning Russia and Russia's saying, okay, we won't sell you any of our gas. You guys want to badmouth us? We're going to say. And then winter comes, they're going to flip the script, like the video I made. They're going to flip the script, and they're going to blame Russia for being the bad guys. So, all right, it's not all clear. The 755-page will substantially ease inflationary pressures. So there's an inflationary aggregation. Again, hopefully another channel picks this up, and you guys can bring it back to me and see what they say on it. I think we're 9 years to a year behind until inflation really, really settles in. So, yeah. Are expected to see some relief in healthcare and other costs. Again, what does it mean for Biden? So, basically, Biden is considered a hero for this. This is what they're saying. Let's go to the here. So you guys can see that I'm not making this up. And it goes on to say right here, it's a big win for the president. I'm not making this up. Climate crisis. You guys know how I feel about climate crisis. Again, you can't predict what the sun does. All the climate and climate change and all that stuff on Earth, whatever they want to call it, or Ozone Layer Protection Act, or the acid rain, or global warming, or whatever they want to call it. Okay, in the end, it all goes back to what the sun decides to do. If the sun wants to spout out a few more solar flares, then so be it. We have a hotter summer. If the sun wants to cool down and go through a different, when it's in orbit, it goes through its own orbit, its own rotation, its own tilts. It can do what it wants to do. We can't. See, once you get back to climate change and climate and all that stuff, and you go back to the sun, you start realizing how the sun plays 99.9999999% of the impact of what happens on Earth. And then not only that, a small percentage has to do with volcanoes. You get one good volcano with enough soot and ash to put enough dirt in our ionosphere, then block out the sun, and block out, they could put more CO2, more carbon, more ash, more soot in one good volcanic eruption than we do as humans in 100 years. So, I mean, like this thing, I don't understand. And I'm not even a scientist. I can't even friggin' read. And I'm telling you this. This is the problem we're having here. Okay, climate crisis. The bill will invest $375 billion. I say good luck to you. Health insurance, that's all BS. How it's paid for. The biggest revenue raiser in the bill is the new 15% minimum tax on corporations, right there. And I told you guys 2 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago, over and over, they're going to tax us to death. Oh, but the corporations are king. No, they're not. They're going to tax the corporations to death. They're going to haul them out, and they're going to rebrand them through government control. Whether it's through logistics and distribution, whether it's through different avenues of revenue, that they're going to find all kinds of weird loopholes for things. Watch, because the government can do whatever it wants. They love to tell you all the places above average, but many are below average also right now, and they never like to talk about it. I agree, Mike. Of course. So Peter O'Brien saying, I've heard people say our rainy weather is because of the volcanic eruption. It could be. It could be. Volcanoes do a lot more damage to our ozone, our ionosphere, our breathing, our clean air. It does more damage to the earth than we do. So we can't. Mad Max says we need to start a new Tea Party. We can't. I'm sorry. It's not because I don't want to. I would love to. But then we get audited, and then we get punished, and then we get basically taxed to death. We get they were threatening people's homes that they live with their families. They basically so there's this whole bill thing going in Canada with people broadcasting out of Canada and people like myself that I've been doing this for 10 years. So I haven't been doing this for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, a year. I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I've been talking for a long time. It's kind of embarrassing. I really don't have many subscribers. I think I have for every subscriber I have, for every video I have five subscribers. That's how embarrassing my channel is. But that's okay. But now they're threatening to take away private property if people in Canada start streaming or making videos, or like I'm talking here, they're actually threatening to take your private property away now. That's how bad it's going to... I might have to apply for asylum to somewhere to get out of Canada if it gets to that, right? So money is already raised by boosting the IRS to go after tax cheats. The bill proposes $80 billion investment in taxpayer services, enforcing and monetarization, which is projected to raise $203 billion in new revenue, a net gain of $124 billion over the decade. So they're going to go after the tax cheats. I just don't understand why Canada doesn't do anything about all the money laundering. And we had a task force in place, and they took it down 2 times. Ooh, we're going to arrest too many people. That's not going to be good. But non-Canadian people, though, they're going to arrest. If it's Canadian people, they'll come and arrest them and put them in jail. They don't give a crap about the people that built the infrastructure in this country. I'm garbage. I'm considered garbage here, but in the government's eyes, I'm saying, right? Mike, why don't you move back to Portugal? I hear it's much cheaper to live. That's something we've been considering now for a while. I'm a citizen, right? My kids, I give them citizenship, and you know what I mean? Trump one is asking, are you familiar with what a state national is? Can you let me know in the comments there, if you don't mind? They are apparently refusing to pay energy bills in California, but it takes everyone to get on board. Run for council, Mike, then run for mayor, and then premier. No, I already ran for council a few years back, and I dropped out. A lady came into my store and basically told me that if a lady that was running basically came into my store and said if I didn't drop out, she would basically make my life a living hell, right? So I just dropped out. I don't want to be part of anything. I don't want to be part of anything from the amount of I ran, and 2 weeks in it's not that I gave up early or I gave up. It is I don't need this constant fire. You know, I'm already hated in town, and then I don't need like this on top of me and my family already. You know what I'm saying? So I just said, okay, I'm gonna bail. There's obviously more better people that could do the job than me, so they don't need me here in this town. So, yeah, they have hot springs in Portugal. Yes, it's Furnas. I've been there many times. That's on the islands. That's in San Miguel. Okay, so Bloomberg again. Winners and losers in Democrats' signature tax bill. So they're going to tax the American public to death. And so it goes here. It goes the winners, the wealthy, private equity, Manchin, Sima. The entire contents of the bill were essentially cherry-picked by Manchin. Electric car makers. That's I know Scotty Kilmer, the mechanic guy, did a video on electric cars showing how 94,000 of them blew up or caught fire and blew up out of nowhere. So electric car makers are going to be making more death traps. Renewable energy. That's all bullshit. Renewable energy. Oil companies. Oh, okay. Medicare. Deficit hawks. The IRS again. And the losers, right here, for you guys to see, the Republicans. That's the only thing that lost in this bill was the Republicans. Bernie Sanders, the $437 billion in spending is a far cry from the $6 trillion that progressives led by Senator Bernie Sanders envisioned at the start of the Biden's presidency. The bill excludes all proposals for new social programs, including childcare, tuition-free college, housing spending, and expanded child monthly tax credit. And now let's see what Zero Hedge has to say. I love Zero Hedge. I love how Zero Hedge puts it into a proper perspective. Here are the winners and losers in the Inflation Reduction Act. As Democrats pat themselves on the back after the Senate finally passed their massive tax, climate, and healthcare bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, which Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called one of the most significant pieces of legislation passed in a decade. This is the biggest piece of crap. And Americans are going to suffer for this for decades to come. Oof. All right. I'm just kind of reading here what people are saying in the comments. To quote Bill Boner, it's boondoggle. Okay, not only did none of the billions in tax the Democrats threaten high earners with the last make it in the final version of the bill, their plans to tax the 1% turned out to be nothing more than a virtue signal. Like occasional Cortex, when she was pretending she was getting arrested walking like this, and the September 9th or the August, whatever, July, whatever, siege of the parliament or whatever, she was, I think, 10 miles away, but she could feel in her soul something wasn't right. But yeah, virtue signals. Private equity fund managers. As we noted Friday, the landmark bill only passed after Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema insisted on keeping the carried interest loophole that allows investment managers, like her former bosses, to shield a majority of their income from higher taxes. And then of course, the loopholes are going to be there. They're going to put that in place. And it's, again, to impoverish more and more of the middle class. Yeah, I have it right now. Trump got ready, but yeah, I already saw the article 3 times. The article's up there where their Canadian media is like the bully. And then I like it in Canada how they were talking about how Trump's a bully, he's deporting Mexicans, he's doing this to Mexicans. But you go back to the CTV, the CBC, and all the Canadian, the Toronto Star, the Toronto Sun, the Hamilton Post, to go back to find the articles of when they deported 40, 50, 60,000 Portuguese in 2007 and 2008. All the articles are gone. They went to high schools to grab all the Portuguese kids and hold them back in the gymnasium until the parents could come in to prove they're allowed to be in Canada. Those were the Portuguese that were allowed in 2000 when they had a labor shortage and they were promised permanent residency. And then the Canadian government, 2007 and 8, deported all of them and closed down malls and everything to deport Portuguese. But then the Canadian media, Trump's a bully, he's deporting Mexicans. But then you go back to find all the Portuguese deported from Canada, you don't find sweet F all. Because the media took it down. And then when I talk about it today, people look at me and tell me, you're making stuff up to make Trump look good. I'm not. They did deport 47,000 or 50,000 Portuguese. But it's gone. All the articles are gone. So anytime you try to bring something up, or like somebody, like there's a guy that comes into my store, his name is Balls. And Balls loves how America, like he loves Obama, and how he loves Obama so much. And this guy, and Balls works for the government. He gets $110,000 a year doing nothing for the government. And there it is right there. So, and people saying, oh, Obama needs to come back. He was the greatest standing president of all time. So here we go. America dropped 26,171 bombs in 2016. What a bloody end to Obama's reign. According to new figures, the U.S. dropped nearly 3 bombs every hour for 24 hours a day. Dare we think how Donald Trump will continue this legacy? He actually ended a majority of those wars. The Yemenis wars and all those wars. So I'm not trying to, praise Trump or be on Trump's side. All I'm saying is This guy was a mass murderer, right? And then now and this article was before Trump took office. So they were already trying to massage the people into thinking that Trump's going to be a lot worse than Obama, because nobody could hide all the atrocities and all the war crimes that Obama did. You couldn't hide it. It was in plain sight. So they were saying Trump's going to be worse. Yeah. So there it is. In 2016, U.S. special operations could be found in 70% of the world's nations, 138 countries. There it is right there. So when people come in, like government workers, they're all programmed to love Obama. We love Hillary Clinton. Like, they're all programmed with this BS. You know what I'm saying? Global climate change. And all these Canadians. Now apparently Canadians are dying of climate change. Low roller scratcher is acting. Did you play Mega Millions last week since it was worth $1.2 billion? Did you cross the border? I can't cross the border. I'm not juiced. Like, I could probably get into the United States, but they won't let me get back into Canada. Oh, okay, hold on. Peter O'Brien saying, in New Zealand we had the Dawn raids to deport Polynesians in the same era. Now we have music label called Dawn Raid, Not Forgotten Here. Yeah, but if you bring that up, that all these people were deported back to Polynesia, they won't, you know what I'm saying? They won't acknowledge it. They'll say, that never happened. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's what they say. All right, let's keep going. Okay, I want to go back to this one here. So, Tom Cotton here on Twitter posts 87,000 new IRS agents, higher taxes, and a massive green energy slush fund. Anyone who says this bill reduces inflation is lying. And Bernie Sanders, who Bloomberg notes wanted $6 trillion in spending, making the $437 billion. So this is why they're making Biden look like a winner. This is why they're making Biden look like a hero, because he could pull it off with $437 billion and not $6 trillion. And that's a really sad state of affairs. Guys, this is Mike in the Night. Here, let me give you a live link to the episode. If you really want to watch uncensored stuff, and actually, we had so many good guys. Watch this episode of Mike in the Night. It's live in the live chat. It's really good. We really discussed. We had so many good callers in on that show. I think we had 8 or 9 or 10 callers. They were all aces in the hole. Then we had the Raven on at the end to kind of break it down. For the first 3 minutes, not even the first minute of look, 10 minutes of this show will get me banned off of YouTube. Any 10 minutes of any part of this show will get me banned on YouTube. All right, here we go. Inflation Reduction Act. 5 key takeaway points from the most significant climate bill in U.S. history. There it is right there. Investment in clean energy. Tax credits for electric vehicles. Billions for communities suffering from the most from pollution. More green jobs will be created. This is all BS. Let me tell you this BS. Green jobs are all BS jobs, and I'll tell you why. I'm putting in my own solar. That's my roof there. I've been putting in my own solar, both sides of the roof, this side and that side. I've been setting it up myself, doing my own thing. Let me see if I can get a picture of there's my inverter there. There's my everything ready to go. And not a single solar company wants to touch it because they want to sell me the stuff for 2,000, 3,000% more expensive. They want to basically charge me $50,000 for what I'm doing for $6,000. And no one wants to touch it because I already have the stuff. And so solar green jobs created, that's all BS. It's all sales jobs just to ramp up the price of stuff. And if you think green jobs are going green is legit. They're looking at actually stopping solar for being installed in our homes here in Canada. They're looking at it right now, and I said it a week ago and 2 weeks and 3 weeks ago. It's coming. It's coming. And if you think it's not coming, look at all of the casinos. I have a friend who's a part owner of a casino in Nevada, Las Vegas, and he's been in courts for 10 years now with the Nevada Power Energy for having solar panels on his roof. So once the municipalities don't get the money from the tax revenues, from the electricity and all that, we should be paying 10 cents an hour for electricity because it's so inexpensive. But they're going to ramp it up. They're going to make it hard for us. Right? Inflation reduction bill to unleash a tax terrorism upon the American people. This is actually a really big deal. This is a bigger deal than you guys could ever fathom. So, Democrats gleefully passed a so-called Inflation Reduction Act that even Bernie Sanders says won't reduce inflation, because inflation is the product of an expanded money supply. Again, we talked about that years ago. To stay informed with the massive government spending bill will only increase inflation while handing out hundreds of billions of dollars to the green energy sector's IRS agents and wealthy corporations. We saw what the green sector did in Texas, and we saw what the carbon credits system and during the Obama administration did to Texas, and charging them for unused fuel, carbon taxes for unused fuel. Are you out of your trees? So, someone says a movie's being made about Hunter Biden. That's really good, because on Odyssey, I don't think we can play it on YouTube. We do a little Hunter Biden clip, like a different clip, because there's several thousand of them, of him either weighing his crack or whatever he's doing, or and we actually kind of show one 30, 40, 60-second clip a week. There's just too many to show on one episode, so we kind of break it down slowly, right? All right. And listen to this. 45% of small businesses could not pay their July rent. Mass restaurant bankruptcies appear imminent. So there it is right there. Up to 45% of independent restaurants could not pay their July rent. That's a lot, guys. Do you know that's probably like 8 to 11 million. And there's gyms here, beauty salons. Oh, wow. This is okay. There's more to this, guys. Up to 48% of transportation-related business couldn't afford to pay their rent. Nonprofits also are rapidly collapsing, with 44% unable to afford their July rent. Over one-third of retail establishment, 44% beauty salons, 40% gyms, 38%, and real estate businesses, 33%, are also struggling as rent prices spike across the nation. So again, that's inflation kicking in, and that's your landlord passing on the savings to you, right? Hey, what's going on, Margie? Margie in the house. We got Big Rob New Zealand. We got Peter O'Brien. We got Captain Nobody in the house. Yeah, I just wanted to do a quick stream here for you guys, just to talk a little bit. And all right, so what else? Okay, so what do we got? So what do we talk? Crazy taxes in the name of climate change a year ago. This is almost 2 years ago I made this video, guys, where I said taxes in the name of climate change. Toronto taxed to death. Government is destroying my business, small business, via shipping taxation. Tax to death, mass exodus of young families 3 years ago. Inflation stir crazy. Look at that. 3 years ago. Taxing us to death. Canada Post is charging $300 for a mailbox. Even though I'm supposed to get mail to my store, I'm not getting it no more because I'm not going to pay. All they have to do is drop the mail off at my door. It's the post office is up the street. They have to get a mail carrier to drop off the mail. But they don't want to do that. Oh, FBI. Hold on. I got something here. FBI. I think it's about this Donald Trump thing. Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home raided by FBI. So this was posted a minute ago. The Federal Bureau of Investigation on Monday executed a search warrant and conducted a raid at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida. informing about the raid, Trump released a statement and said, "These are dark times for our nation, as my beautiful Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI agents." And that's why a gentleman earlier in the comments says that we should start a Tea Party. And I'm like, yeah, but you're going to be demonized. You're going to be raided. You're going to be anybody. Like that. Trump is just one little fraction of it, right? And everyone's like, Trump's on the same team. Yeah, I get it. All these guys are pulling strings, or all these guys are working for the same master. I get that. Right? But what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say is that you do, look what happens to the Tea Party. Look. Watch this. Let's go here and let's see here. Watch Tea Party. Tea Party. Audited. Here it is, 2017. Here we go. Full screen that for you guys. As IRS targeted Tea Party groups, it went after progressive. 2017. 4 years later, the IRS Tea Party scandal looked very different. 2017. IRS targeting controversy. See, Justice Department settles with Tea Party groups after IRS. There it is. You can't be part of anything that's going to make a progressive change for the people, by the people, right? You can't. You go in America and you tell people you want to uphold and protect the Constitution, they call you a racist for trying to protect the values of Americans and American. I was called today. I was commented on a video. Okay, I made a video yesterday. Let me find the video. How basically I was talking about how the West Coast will be unaffordable for Americans. American proper will be bought out. So the video is right here. It's called Every American Needs to Watch This Video. So basically in this video, it's very simple. And I think every American needs to watch this because in an older video right here, let me see if I can, right. Let me see if I can catch that in the screen here for you guys. Give me a sec. American proper will be bought out of the West Coast by 2025, right? Chinese to take over Seattle housing Amerifornia, right? So if you go here, so that was the video I made. This video I made about, I think it was like, let me see here, right here, 2017, right? American proper will be out of the West Coast, right? Okay, so I say it here in the video. And then if you look now on today's map, for homes in and around 100 to 300,000, everything's on the West Coast or the red states of America, minus New York and the other ones. But if you look here, let me see if I can get a full photo of this for you guys. If you look in the West, anything affordable, 100 to 300,000 is unheard of. But you go to the East, you can still buy homes in an affordable manner, right? So somebody commented on here, let's see if this comment is still up, that he automatically knows everything about me. Okay, it's right here. It's called a free market, and it's called the free market, and it's called, if you have the money, you can decide where you want to live. Not true. I tried to immigrate to the United States by the book. I did everything by the book. Everything. I got a huge corporation to sponsor me. I had money to invest. I had everything ready to go. And I spent thousands of dollars with lawyers. And then they told me that basically they're not taking in my kind when I went to the final interview. Stop hating on people. I don't hate nobody. Stop hating on people who buy what you can't. How does this guy know what I could buy and what I can't buy? This is the problem I don't get here. No conspiracy, no drama, just endless cycles of buying and selling. I suppose you have videos scaring people about gentrification as well. Actually, as a matter of fact, I do. So let's talk about, thanks for bringing that up. So let's talk about how, let's type in, I love this one, Ireland. I love it. Type across the channel, Ireland, and here we go. And it's all gentrification, pushing out the Irish proper. Investors are pushing out locals in Ireland. 9,846 homeless people in Ireland. Mass exodus 4 years ago. Ireland, massive housing crisis. Wow, 3 years ago. Foreign investors forcing Irish middle class into homelessness. Ireland housing depression 3 years ago. Foreign investors going to Ireland, pricing out locals, leaving homes empty everywhere. Northern Ireland housing is hot as Southern Irelanders flee to the north for affordability. Mass exodus of Ireland's youth. Ireland housing taking over. So there's your gentrification there. Basically, Ireland turning into California. There it is right there. So that's the guy's comment right there. Yeah, we talked about gentrification and the changes and telling me, oh, because you can't buy what they could afford. It's all money laundering. It's money placement. It's bring in your money. And it's called the Vancouver model. Here it is. Toronto needs more money laundering. Vancouver model. Home prices slipped 4 years ago. So what they did was they brought the Vancouver model to Toronto so they could launder more money through Toronto. Park your money in Canada. 2 gas stations in Vancouver sold for redevelopment. Money laundering. Chinese gangs laundering money and shadow flipping and destroying Canadians' futures. So it keeps going on. It keeps going on and on and on and on. So when you want to call me out in the comments, be ready for the video to follow. Because I can't afford what they can. You know what? I can look at myself in the mirror and be proud of myself. I sell toys. I'm happy. I have no debt. So you're telling me what I can't buy, what I can't afford? Thank you, Mike Definder. Thanks for all the work you do, bro. God bless you, buddy. Yeah, Ireland will be in real trouble if the EU breaks up, says Peter O'Brien. Ireland isn't Ireland now. Yeah, it's completely transformed. And yes, I will continue making videos discussing this. Yeah. Hatred towards people. What hatred towards people? Anyways. All right, what are you guys saying here? I too, yeah, in Ireland. Silent Walk says, I too, yeah, Ireland. Yeah, I'm the only friggin' guy you could find. But then some guy comes out with a video showing what's happened in Ireland in the last couple of years. It's like, it's all post-diction. Nobody cares about what people are saying now about it. I was raising the alarm years ago about it, right? Laura Vasquet Photography. I hope I said that right. Oh boy, you got ourselves a damn clueless troll. Yep, I love those trolls. But I usually make a comeback video when people tell me they know how much I can afford or what I could do or what I can't do or what they think I know or what they, you know. So there they are. This is live on Bloomberg, just trying to smooth over the people into basically your country's being sold out from under you. They're going to tax you to death. And I say it that way many, many times. Like this property tax video I made here. Where was it? They raised my property tax to like $4,300 plus $1,200 garbage pickup. And now they're going to meter my water. And then they're going to try and ban solar. I'm telling you guys. Look at this. Look at this. Holy crap. Let me look at this. Canadian government attack on private sector. More tax hikes. 23% by 2020. 4 years ago. On the private sector. Look how high we are. France is up there too. After France basically, after Gaddafi stopped paying his blood money to France, France started to raise their taxes to pay for their infrastructure, and then Gaddafi stopped paying them the money, and that's why they went in there and took them out. Canadian government attack on the private sector, more taxes, more hurting young family, Canadian taxes. Here's what will be more expensive in 2017. Wow. Oh, middle class to disappear by 2023 at the rate housing is going up, and not to mention taxation 4 years ago. My opinion. At the rate housing is going up, it's destroying all middle-class disposable income. By 2023, we will fall either though a massive depression, no one can agree. Wow. Wow. Look at this video from 6 years ago. Empty homes in Vancouver walking the streets. So, Mike of the Night, call-in show, America debt load growing. It's a trap. India-China border crisis 4 years ago. Wow. We still have episodes of Mike in the Night here on thing if you guys want to watch on YouTube. They still exist. So it's Laura Vicente Photography. Sorry. Sometimes when I read, I'm reading in Portuguese sometimes. So in Portuguese, there'll be Vicente in Portuguese. And in Spanish, it'll be Vincent, right? Depending. And I don't know how to, it wouldn't work in Latin, but energy bills are going to blow the roof off of your house if you still have one. That's right, Mad Max. That's right. Laura's saying, I'm like you, Mike. I woke up in 2009 and I've been trying to warn and tell people forever, but no one took me seriously. Welp, I actually hate to say I told you so. Really, really wish I was wrong. Me too. Do you think I want middle-class people to be impoverished and homeless in my own country? Well, you go to the source of why it's happening, then you're a racist. And then your country creates a panel or a team or something to counter this and to break it down and start finding and arresting people, and they shut that down. Look. Let me see if it's spelled like that. So they shut down money laundering, underground banks laundering money. Let me see if I could find that. Chinese money laundering is destroying Australia. Let me see if I could find middle class to be wiped out by 2018. Money laundering destroying young families. Let me see if I could find that one. So Canada's like in the lead for money laundering, and Australia's and New Zealand and the UK are right after, and the blue states of America are here. This was back 5 years ago, though. That's before the Biden selection. After the Biden selection, holy crap, the money started rolling in. Yeah. All right. I'm just trying to see if there's anything out there. So let's find this Trump story that everybody's talking about. Let's just open a... I think I had the Canadian news here, the CTV open here. What are they saying? Trump says FBI is searching his Mar-a-Lago estate. Circumstances unclear. 2 workers trapped after trench collapse in Ajax, Ontario. Oh, get this one. 1.4 billion in uncashed checks sitting in Canada Revenue Agency's coffers. How to check if you owed money. Olivia Newton-John passed away, but she lived she lived a good long life, you know. Good life experiences, you know. Yeah. So, just try to see if there's anything else. What I don't want to get the Canadian perspective because it's let's see what CNN's lying about. Watch. Let's see what CNN's lying about now. Here it is. FBI exclusive. Breaking news. FBI executes search warrant at Trump's Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago, sorry. In document investigation, right? The FBI executed a search warrant on Monday at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, Florida, as a part of an investigation in the handling of presidential documents. What about Hillary Clinton's email? That was a huge problem. I don't understand why they're always like... I think mainstream media, they're grateful that Trump took presidency so they could blame all this crap and kind of push everything on one guy so that not everyone... Woo! No, not V. It's V like Vicent. Ah, Sorry, I can't really read. Vacent, says Laura Vacent Photography. Mad Max is saying it's the cooking of the frogs by slow boil. We have been played for years. Yep, Rusty Ben Rusty Ben the Hammer. Sorry, it's the way it's written. Says it's a slow boil to very fast boil. I think the frog might die soon. So there it is, right there, folks. Oh yeah. All right, what else we got? Is there anything else here we could? Anything you guys want to talk about? Tell me in the comments. Sounds like another distraction. There's going to be lots of them. Yeah, they're going to have to. They're going to have to pull a lot of BS. They're going to have to go full-blown BS pulling. They're going to have to. They don't have a choice right now. They don't have a choice to keep distracting the people. I love this. I love this. Watch. I love bringing this one up. 2019. When you're with natural immunity deniers, there's a lot of people who are natural immunity deniers. They deny their own immunity, so they trust the science. When you speak to a natural immunity denier, you show them this. "2019, I bring this up on the channel 100 times already, but protests in every corner of the globe. The year of the protest. 2019, the year of the protests. Every country protesting. What countries aren't protesting? The year of the protesting through Vox." So there it is. People, 2019, the year of the protest. And we covered this on Mike in the Night for a whole year, basically discussing how people have lost confidence in their governments. And that's why it's at the position, or they're in the position they're in right now. And that's why they had to do you know what. From Hong Kong, France, Russia, and Iran, citizens across the world took to the streets in 2019 to vent their frustrations, push for change. So back then, they were actually pushing as climate change. Much has been written in a long list, and there it is. Leaders, Chile, they ousted a pile of governments. 2019, a year of protest. So there it is right there. I love this video. I just don't want to flag my channel, though. And basically, they're talking about how there's no confidence in governments and how the whole world was protesting. And it wasn't just in those 3-4 countries like Hong Kong and France. It was all over the world was protesting. Price hikes in electricity, price hikes in telecom companies, price hikes in energy, price hikes in everything, right? But
in France, protesters put on their yellow vests and demanded better pay and an end to rising prices. In Sudan, the people brought down the 40-year regime of a genocidal dictator. In Haiti, they demanded the president's resignation and
president's
the
resignation,
of corrupt
right there.
Officials. And in Hong Kong, demonstrators started by standing up to the Chinese authorities over an extradition law and expanded their demands to include more democracy.
The older generation.
And then they threw it in as climate change. See? Then they threw it in as climate change, and then the guy from the World Economic Forum here, let's go here, watch this.
Countries and on the streets of Iraq, Lebanon, Ecuador, Iran, and elsewhere, citizens are saying enough and demanding a change to business as usual. The UN Secretary General has called on governments to listen to the real problems of their people.
It is clear that there is a growing deficit of trust between people and political establishments, and rising threats to the social contract. And the world is also wrestling with the negative impacts of globalization and new technologies, which have increased inequalities within society. So basically, and then they spin it as a climate change protests, and that becomes a major, major, major issue. And that is 2019, the year of the protest by VOA. I mean, you could find there's tons of protests all over the world in 2019. And what was the answer? What was the answer to it? I could pull up the video for you guys to the answer, because in 2019 we were covering this very closely. And what did we say in 2019? Well, I'm going to show you what we said in 2019. Hopefully it doesn't shut my channel down. Well, no one even knows I'm here anyway, so. But still, I mean, I like to have a voice, right?
But what did they say? What did we say? What did we say in 2019? Go to the channel. Type in the man. And that was the episode of Mike of the Night. Mike Martins here with the Mike Martins channel. I get a lot of people messaging me on this video here, even though it doesn't have many views. It's Mike in the Night, In Your Head Zombie, streamed on live on September 28th, 2019. The man who predicted the COVID.
We say the longer they let it go, I think that's what they're doing. They're never going to leave a travesty go to.
That's the Raven, by the way. He was on the last Mike of the Night. You're going to want to watch him.
Use your brains, man. That's all you got to do. Think the way they think, and they are the most sinister people on the planet.
Okay,
you know.
Hear me out. Just hear me out on this one.
Sure.
You got this climate change that's full stop. I'm talking. It's everywhere. It's on front pages. It's what they're feeding us. And the funny part of this one is that a lot of people are actually buying this hook, line, and sinker. But what is the real thing? Like, there's something so big in the works. Either it's a real big hot war that's going to wipe out a percentage of us. Either they're going to pull the trigger on a mass pandemic. Right there. Or it's going to be something. And I think this climate change thing is... Or that's going to wipe out a percentage of us. Either they're going to pull the trigger on a mass pandemic. Right there. Or going to wipe out a percentage of us. Either they're going to pull the trigger on a mass pandemic. Right there. Or it's going to be something. And I think this climate change thing is the best direction they could get because everyone's buying it. So there it is there from Mike in the Night. You can look it up. It's still on. It hasn't been taken off of YouTube. You can still see it there. It's still up. I scared the cat. I'm sorry. Maybe my volume adjustments here. Your volume is too loud when you're streaming content volume. Sorry about that. I adjusted it purposely so because I'm talking really low in that. But you could watch the Mike in the Head. It's In Your Head Zombie. I think it's still up. You can't look me up across YouTube. I don't come up. You have to actually go to the channel and search. I think it. I don't know if it's got taken down. There it is, right there. Mike in the Night. Worldwide protests. Mike in the Night. It's In Your Head Zombie. Climate lockdowns. There it is, right there. And I think this climate change thing is the best direction they could get because everyone's buying it. Where it's on front pages, it's
Psychopaths. We've seen what they've done in the past, not mentioning any dates because you'll get flagged. We've seen what they've done in the past. Now look at the greater good of the country. Now they're going to think of it as the greater good of humanity. We have to do this. Yes. There's too much people. And you know what? If I've seen some projections. If we go full retard, 85% dead in North America in 6 months. That's full retard on the projections that they've done. And they'll just let the world take care of itself. But you got to build it up as big as, because they always say the longer they let it go, the more pain that's going to be felt. I think that's what they're doing. They're never going to leave a travesty go to waste. They never will. Use your brains, man. That's all you got to do. Think the way they think, and they are the most sinister people on the planet.
Okay,
you know?
Hear me out. Hear me out. Just hear me out on this one.
Sure.
You got this climate change that's full stop. I'm talking. It's everywhere. It's on front pages. It's what they're feeding us. And the funny part of this one is that a lot of people are actually buying this hook, line, and sinker. But what is the real thing? Like, there's something so big in the works. Either it's a real big hot war that's going to wipe out a percentage of us. Either they're going to pull the trigger on a mass pandemic. Or it's going to be something. And I think this climate change thing is the best direction they could get. And like I say today, they're always going to go back to climate change when all else fails. They're going to use climate change to tax us to death. They're going to use climate change to impoverish us. They're going to use climate change for everything. Everything. So that was back in September 28, 2019, when we said that here on the channel. So, and then we got Peter O'Brien says, I remember that episode. You warned us all. Paul S. is saying it was a Simpson prediction. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, The Simpsons, I mean, when you make that many episodes about anything, you will start seeing patterns in and what you said in the past, right? Silent Walk has to run out. We're going to catch the show later. So, I wonder what else. Anybody else want to talk about something here or anything about anything? I mean, some people are asking about my solar system. Electrician's coming in next week. I found an electrician that's not going to try and sell me stuff. That's actually going to hook it up for me. He said it's going to take anywhere from 4 to 6, maybe 4 hours, maybe 3, maybe. I told him, I don't care. You could be there the whole day. I'll pay you the whole day. But just get this damn thing working. He's like, no problem, man. So I found an electrician that's going to come in and set this all up for me and have it ready to go. Solar companies, green companies, they just want to sell you stuff. And they don't want to touch anything that you buy because they're going to lose their 3,000% markup, right? Carbon credits give the hippies magic currency. That's Rusty in the comments. What else? Well, the comments are dying off, fizzling out in the comments section here. I just wanted to bring that video up for you guys. This is all. Guys, don't forget to join us on Mike in the Night on Odyssey, where we're allowed to speak freely. Here, I'll give you the link to the last episode. I better pause this before I end up getting flagged here. With the BRIC stations, I am a Portuguese citizen, so I could obtain citizenship in Brazil. I can. But I don't know, but like South America move now in my life with 3 kids, with 3 babies. It's going to be hard. It's so hard. I mean, it would be a great life experience to move to Brazil at my age now. The final step, as I see, is to get us all under one system of control, wherever is left through the transhumanism. That is the ultimate goal. That could take a decade or 2, but still, I mean, I got a lot of kids in this. I got 3 kids. I want to make sure my family's taken care of before I die, right? Or at least I know that my family will be okay before I die, right? Is Canadian citizenship worth now other than visa-free travels to most countries? Harry, I think it's okay. I think it's not a bad passport to obtain or to have. I have a Canadian and a Portuguese passport. But the problem with the Canadian, I just can't come back into Canada. That's my problem. If I leave Canada, if I try to apply for, I could be stuck in between the 2 countries. I could be stuck without not being allowed back into Canada and not being allowed into the United States. So I could be stuck in between, right? This is not the southern border where I could just walk through and then just get to the destination I need to get to and set up shop. It won't work like that. From Canada, from the Canadian border is very heavily patrolled. Sorry, the Americans patrol the Canadian border very heavily, a lot more than they do the Mexican. A lot more. A lot more. Right? CJ is saying, oh, wait. Mad Max says new battery technology is happening now. Solid state liquid metal batteries are going to make lithium obsolete. Yeah, Mad Max, I got a lithium ion metal deep cycle 9,000 cycle battery. It's the size of a mini fridge with wheels on it. And that's what I'm going to use. It's rated as one of the better batteries. So that's what I got right now. That's going to hook up to my solar. So when the power does go down, it can power my whole house. My inverter is split 120, 240. I don't know if I want to activate the 240 because I'm not going to be washing and drying clothes in the machines if I'm not, if we have a power outage. I'm not going to be doing that. I'll run my home like I do normally, but I won't be pushing it, so to say, right? Yeah, Harry S. is saying not having a Vax pass is a problem for a Canadian citizen, whereas for people with other citizenship could still board a plane. Yeah, that's the problem we have here in Canada. If I could apply for asylum, right? Like I could prove, like if I could prove, like I've been harassed here for opening a business, I was harassed for running for city council, I was harassed, and I could prove it. I could show video footage, I could show proof of what I'm saying. Then maybe they could maybe do something and say, well, we'll give you asylum in the United States. But I don't think they care, right? Yeah, CJ is saying we're guess what's going to happen? China's in a huge money crisis. We made the video here a few weeks back when we got word of it. We got word of it, and man, I covered it like nobody's business. I made sure I did my best to cover this because it's right here. China's sinking fast. Where is it? It's some troll said I'm clickbaiting people. Where'd it go? Did they take it? Take the video down? Right here. China's sinking fast. This major event will affect every human being on Earth. Like with China's economic strife right now, and when they basically fall big time, I think we're going to be looking at a major issue, major. And it's going to affect every human being on Earth. Working on it. It says, Mike, that's why I don't live in small towns. Lots of inbreeding and discrimination. Sorry. Peter O'Brien. No, Peter is saying there's Australia has a no juice mandate for visitors. I think there is. If you're a foreign investor, you won't be like in Canada, if you came into Canada from China and you were a foreign investor, you could come in. You could come in and buy property and leave. You won't be hindered for passes and whatever it is. You would not be bothered if you came in from China. I have people and friends that work on the tarmacs at the airports that tell me straight up. If you're coming in as an investor and you're going on a tour bus to buy properties, they won't touch you for that in Canada the whole time during the whole thing. That's why 2020 and 2021 Canada had, and I think parts of Australia, but Canada had the hottest housing market in its history because of the amount of money that was just being brought into the country. I'm just reading the comments here, guys. Hervan Gill is saying, hi, Mike, what do you think about the first day of the war? The Ukraine started, blah, blah, blah. Strange coincidence, February 22nd. Well, what happened was Ukraine was, I don't know how to say this. They were holding America under the fire, basically, because the barista scandal in the Ukraine with Hunter Biden was being investigated, and the executive person or the panel that was investigating Hunter Biden with barista mysteriously disappeared after that war started, and they started getting money from the U.S. And then 2 months later, I think it was Ukraine asked for another $20 billion or $30 billion, I can't remember. And the prosecutor for the barista scandal with Hunter Biden was gonna come back. So basically, America sent the money, and the prosecutor for Hunter Biden and the barista scandal disappeared. It's kind of weird how it forms in these. They hold the money. They say we want more money, or we're gonna get the prosecutor to find out what's going on with Hunter Biden, and then it disappears again. And Americans are paying with blood for this. American families, the American proper is paying with their blood for this. With this, American administration. Okay, we got. Mike, do you think I will own nothing and be happy? I get a feeling that the government knows what's best for me. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. Is that there's a lot of people that have nothing agree that the government knows what's best for them, because then they'll get what they need to survive. But the people that have worked hard to build their family, lay their roots, build their homes, create a continuity of life within our families, without the hindrance or direction of government, don't want governments. I don't want to be told how I'm going to be ruled. I don't want to be told what I need to do or how to do it. I don't want to be told. What for? I already knew what my qualifications were, and that's why I sell toys. That's why I own my own business. That's why I do what I do. I bought my house selling toys. I bought, I'm taking care of my family selling toys. So, and board games and stuff and tabletop stuff that I sell. So, I don't need a government to come in and start hiking this and raising my taxes and doing that and destroying what I already have going, than to go on the government tit. Do you get what I'm saying? To go on the public tit. What's the point of that? What's the point of them destroying what we built? I didn't realize that Canada is still detaining citizens. In New Zealand, they gave up on that. They are. Okay, again, if you're coming in as a foreign investor and you're coming to buy property in Canada, so I want to get this out there so people watching this know, you're okay. You come in, buy our property, leave, and leave it empty. But it's not for it's only for Canadian citizens they want to punish. They want to punish Canadians. Government govern the mind, says Lenny Pooh. Wow, I can't believe I've been talking for over an hour now. It's getting pretty warm in this room. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go check on my kids and see what they're up to. I want to thank everyone for joining us on this just whatever live stream. Big disaster ahead for Americans with this BS. Wow. America's in a lot of trouble. America's in a lot of trouble with this Inflation Reduction Act. I love the names they're giving this crap. I just love the names they're giving this crap. So, we'll see what happens. Peter O'Brien in the comments is saying, Martin Armstrong says they will not succeed. Too many people are like owning their own stuff. Yeah, of course. I don't have a lot, but I've worked for what I have, right? Anyways. All right, guys, if you're just joining us, rewind this back. Go to the beginning if you want to watch what we talked about here today. Really appreciate you guys supporting and being part of the channel, liking and subscribing. Here's the last link. If you want to watch real stuff, here, watch last Saturday's Mike in the Night 451. We have some of the best call-ins on that show. Amazing show. You're going to want to watch it right to the end. It's actually really good. Play it in the background. Don't even watch it. Just listen to it. It's a really good episode of Mike in the Night. Anyways, guys, Mike Martin's here. Paul's asking, you don't do the housing market show. I did the housing market show for many years, and it never picked up any traction. And then it got to a point where the housing started to mold in with what's happening on a bigger scale that we're not allowed to talk about. So for me to properly discuss what's really happening in housing, I need to touch on topics that I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube. We talk about it on Odyssey. We can't talk about it here on YouTube because housing has gotten to that point now where it's a toxic discussion for YouTube, right? Mad Max in the house saying, stay free, Patriots. Yeah. Oh, Paul is in the house. And Vaven Gil is saying, goodbye, Mike. You're creating great karma. Keep it up, bro. Yeah, Ricky Spanish. I tried calling him 3 times already. He's not picking up his phone. I really hope he's okay. I really hope Ricky Spanish is okay. He's not replying to me. Yes. We covered that, FBI. Martin North still covering housing in Australia and worldwide. Yeah, I understand that. I still cover housing. I made a few housing videos the other day. I made a housing video 2 days ago. It's just when you actually get into the embryo, or you want to go into the stage of where it goes back to a point where it will get me in trouble on YouTube. I can't get to that point, right? I can't really put my point across anymore when it comes to, yeah. Anyways, guys, see ya, Peter. See ya, Henry. See ya, guys. I'll see you guys on the flip side. And Mike Martin's here. I have